Hey YouTube, this is Nina. Welcome to all of my new subscribers. Thank you to all my everyday contact people, I guess. Y'all come here for knowledge or entertainment, whichever. Thank you for watching. That's what I'm trying to say. Shout out to all my kings and queens, or brothers and sisters, who are bringing forth this knowledge. We're going to get back into the Bill Cooper, Chapter 7. Okay. Chapter 7 is Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1988, H.R. 5210, PL 100 through 690, Preparation for the Police State and Analysis. Okay. So we're on page 152. We started, Chapter 7 starts on 151. Behold a Pale Horse is the book we're reading by William Cooper. And this is Chapter 7. Again, page 151. This is for educational purposes only. H.R. 5210/PL 100 through 690. Public Law 100 through 690, which was introduced to the 100th Congress as H.R. 5210, passed by Congress in September 1988, signed by the President on November 18, 1988. It is the most serious attack upon the freedoms guaranteed the citizens of the Republic of the United States of America in our Constitution since the formation of the Federal Reserve and the IRS. Excuse me, y'all. The act may be cited as the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1988. The following titles are contained within the act. Title 1, Coordination of National Drug Policy. Title 2, Treatment and Prevention Programs. Title 3, Drug Education Programs. Title 4, International Narcotics Control. Title 5, User Accountability. Title 6, Anti-Drug Abuse Amendments Act of 1988. Title 7, Death Penalty and Other Criminal and Law Enforcement Matters. Title 8, Federal Alcohol Administration. Title 9, Miscellaneous. Title 10, Supplemental Appropriations. The Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1988 can be found in most college or city libraries contained in the U.S. Code, Congressional and Administrative News, Volume 3, 1988, with amendment and voting information in the Congressional Quarterly Almanac, Volume 1988. The law looks innocent enough upon the first glance, containing new drug awareness and treatment programs, more law enforcement, and much stricter penalties, and all to be financed with a $2.1 billion budget. Upon close examination, however, I discovered some really scary stuff tucked in where most citizens would never look. The act is some 366 pages of fine, very fine print on very small pages. It is tedious reading, as is all legislation. In fact, it is impossible to read until Nancy Batchelor, a volunteer on my research staff, enlarged each page on a copy machine. Could it be that Congress does not want the citizens to read the contents of their legislation? I believe that is exactly the case. One of the most frightening aspects of this legislation was the proposal to allow evidence found in a warrantless search. Congress said illegally obtained evidence is legal to use in drug cases. Months later, the Senate said no, and that portion of the legislation was removed, or at least that is what we were meant to think. The act leaves a loophole for court decisions on some mass searches, drug tests, such as school lockers, requirement for certain jobs, and an experimental program for those getting their first driver's license. Section 9005. Keywords here are mass searches, drug tests, jobs, and driver's license. The courts have held that if the citizens give up any right by giving what is called implied consent, then they no longer have claim to that right. The dangerous implication here is that mass search could mean the search of every person in, say, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, or New York City. Get the picture? The proposed legislation contained a section that, if passed, would have taken away our right to trial by jury and specifically stated that you could be held guilty without trial. How could any citizen or representative or senator even have had the guts to propose such a thing for passage into law in this country? Fortunately, it was removed by amendment. However, in some cases, a trial isn't automatic. You must request the hearing. Section 6480. Do I have your attention yet? $10,000 is the maximum fine for knowingly possessing any amount of a drug of any kind, even the kind that an enemy might plant in your car or home. Section 6480. Congress has asked for a study on the relationship between mental illness and substance abuse. Section 2071. Congress has recommended changes for involuntary commitment for mental illness, which echoes the Russian NKGB model. Section 2072A. The secret power structure considers patriotism and nationalism to be mental illness. Congress has asked for an evaluation of the appropriateness of administering health service programs in conjunction with biomedical and behavioral research. In other words, mind control on a grand scale. Section 2073A. And this is just my opinion. Patriotism and nationalism by people that aren't from this country, it might be a mental illness. So just keep that in mind. Like, you're fighting hard for something you stole. It's not yours. The Congress ordered in this act that the Attorney General shall study the feasibility of prosecuting federal drug-related offenses in a matter alternative or supplemental to the current criminal justice system. This is the beginning of a police state, Section 6293. The act states that anyone with intent to obstruct or harass the harvesting of timber on public lands can get 1 year in jail up to 10 years if the resultant damage exceeds $10,000. Tree spiking is specifically named. What is it doing in a drug law? It's there because Congress wanted to make an end run around environmental groups and give the timber away. Section 6254/1864. Herbicides are to be used for aerial coca eradication with no consideration of what it might do to the humans or animals being sprayed. After a year of spraying, the President shall determine if such use is harmful to the environment or health and shall file a report. Section 4202. The Act mandates the establishment of a world currency control system that will be an international database to analyze currency transactions filed by member countries in order to monitor large $10,000 or more dollar transfers, to encourage teamwork, prohibit non-cooperative foreign countries from participating in any U.S. dollar clearing or wire transfer system, or from maintaining any financial accounts in U.S. Section 4701. The Act gives the Secretary of Treasury power to require any transaction records from any domestic financial institution, even those not part of the bank savings and loan system, as well as information on all of the persons involved. Make sure you understand what this means to you personally. This is a police state. Section 6184/5326. Alert, alert. The Constitution of the United States, Article 1, Section 9, Paragraph 2 states, the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety may require it. Public Law 100-690, Section 7323, provides for a special committee on habeas corpus review of capital sentences appointed by the Chief Justice of the United States. The purpose of the special committee is to recommend to the Chief Justice of the United States, who will forward the recommendation to the chairman of the committee on the judiciary of the Senate, a proposal of a bill to modify federal habeas corpus procedure. Quotes from PL 100-690. This bill to modify habeas corpus procedure must be reported with or without recommendation by the Committee on the Judiciary of the Senate by the end of the 60th day of session. After submission of the report or the bill must be automatically placed on the appropriate calendar of the Senate. Once the habeas corpus bill is on the calendar, it is not debatable. It is not a subject to motion or postpone. Reconsideration of the vote by which the motion is agreed to or disagreed to shall not be in order under this act. Only one motion in Senate shall be in order pursuant to this paragraph, and such motion shall be decided by a roll call vote. Sit up and take notice. Section 7323 states that this habeas corpus legislation is enacted by Congress as an exercise of the rule-making power of the Senate, and as such it is deemed a part of the rules of the Senate. Can you believe this treason? Chapter 33 of Title 28 United States Code is amended by adding at the end thereof Section 540, which states that the Attorney General and the Federal Bureau of Investigation may investigate felonious investigate felonious killings of officials and employees of a state or political subdivision when such investigation is requested by the head of the agency employing the official or employee killed, and under such guidelines as the Attorney General or his designee may establish. Notice that the above paragraph does not say by invitation of the state, but says by the employing agency. Once the feds are involved, they always hold jurisdiction. This is serious. It could establish the legal precedence for justification of a police state once the courts rule that these states have given up their right to jurisdiction under this act. Notice that it only involves crimes of a political nature. Businesses are required to report all cash transactions of $10,000 or more. Section 7601-60501-IRS. It has been reported to me, but not verified by me, that this requirement has been lowered to $3,000. This has nothing to do with drugs, but has everything to do with the IRS. Well, stop right there. Pick up next video. I don't know why I'm out of breath, y'all. I'm sitting here reading like I'm getting paid to read. I can calm down now. Alright, I hope everybody is okay. Peace and power. And see you in the next video. He.